Good evening, everybody. It is 6:58, and so we won't start for 2 minutes. If you're watching the replay, you will fast forward 2 minutes, and if you're live, stay here. We'll have a nice chat tonight. My plan was to get 6 pieces ready, and I got 3 pieces ready. So it's a 50% victory, which is still a failure, important, but it's not, I've failed a lot worse in other ways than that. So we're doing that. I actually am on my own living here this week, and I haven't spoken to anybody today, and so this is the first time I'm using my voice. And I sound like, I haven't talked to anybody all day, except the dog. And so who knows how the harmonica is going to go tonight. What we're going to work on tonight, On Top of Spaghetti, that's one of our warm-ups. We have never played all of the verses, and since we're going to try to play with the backing track tonight, we'll end up playing all of the verses. So it'll take about 6 hours to play that piece. Afterward, we will play All Through the Night and America the Beautiful. So we'll see how it goes. Vic is in. You are fast. Sound is good. What is fast? How am I? You mean on time? Is that what you mean, Vic? Are you making a comment about my timeliness? Hey, LG. Early. Yes, thank you. I'm gonna try to log in 2 minutes early from now on. That's my plan. You know how I am with being. I really hate it when I'm 3 minutes late, so I know how this thing works, man. Where the internet, we want to get on, do our thing, get off. When somebody's 3 minutes late, that's like being a week late. It's not good. All right, let's play some harmonica. Now, what I want to do is talk about our 3 pieces of music real quick. Or should I talk about them as we do them? Let's talk about them as we do them. So let's go to On Top of Spaghetti. Now, I know those of you guys that come in all the time, you know what I'm up to. I'm trying to take the old harmonica site and turn it into this new fancy harmonica site. Not fancy, just dedicated to this one activity and nothing else. And to really focus in on ensemble play, that means playing with me mostly, and then playing to backing tracks. And so I'm taking our old sheet music and then I'm messing around with the sounds. So far, I don't think I've been particularly successful with creating one really like, oh my gosh, that's such a great backing track for the perfect harmonica thing. But for now, anyway, as I'm looking around through the sound, I got 8 million sound files to try different sounds, and so far I haven't come up with a good recipe for what sounds awesome every time. So I will be continuing to fuss around with the sounds, but it won't change the sheet music. And so On Top of Spaghetti, I think, is done as it's going to get ever. And then the backing track, we'll play along to it tonight, see how it goes, see how you think about it. Obviously, as the weeks go along and you're playing something and you're like, this is wrong or this doesn't sound good or whatever, send me notes, okay? I'm really open to that. I feel like I have done pretty good job on the guitar site. I'm changing that over. It's kind of a mess, but I know that the material's there, and I also know far and away that the ukulele site's good. So I really want to build this site up and make harmonica a great thing for you guys. And so be communicative of what you need, what you'd like. Next week, so we're only going to play 3 songs tonight, so we can talk about just our general approach to playing with backing tracks. Next week, I'd like to start adding in a nightly warm-up, which is the scales, playing your scales. Playing the C scale is nothing. Playing the A minor scale is pretty hard, and I'd like you to be able to do both. Sorry, the only person I've talked to at all today is the dog, and so my voice is not ready to be making any I'm not ready to communicate with human beings. I don't remember what I was talking about. Whatever I was talking about, it was super important, and we'll get back to it. Let's talk about On Top of Spaghetti. So the new piece of sheet music, I really reworked the guitar side of it a lot. I felt like it was not good. The ukulele side is pretty much straightforward. I plugged in 3 different sound fonts into each of them, and we'll see how they sound. And I'm going to continue to have a harmonica track in the background kind of turned down a little bit, so because you're supposed to be the harmonica track, but sometimes it's helpful to have that in your ear just to remind you. So oh, I know what I was talking about, scales. Next week I will put on the main page the old scales we used to play through, and on Diatonic it's the same 2 every time, and on Chromatic there's, is it 15 or 30 of them? I think there's 30 of them. There's only 15 of them because they're just the major scales. What I want to do is get back to doing a little bit of that. I want this to be like a very seriously musical experience, and the thing we're doing with harmonica isn't being done by other people. It is, well, because it's hard. And so they want to play blues harmonica, which is hard in a different way, and I want us to be like classical musicians going for that, we're a very important level, and I know that harmonica has plenty of room to grow in that area, and it should, because it's a great instrument. All right. On top of spaghetti is 6 times through. Okay, now with that being said, it's kind of a short song, right? It's only 12 measures, so we're gonna go blah, 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 blah. And the one that I'm using, the sheet music that I am reading from, says February 3rd 2025 on the top, and it does have and so it's pretty much new today or yesterday, I think, and so cross your fingers. Also, the email system seems to be working now, so you should have gotten an email from harmonicaband.com, and it says on top of spaghetti, and there's a cute little spaghetti graphic on there, so it's working. I gotta make 1 or 2 other slight changes to it, but I figured out what the problem was, which was a programming problem, and goodness sakes, I am not up to speed on that stuff. And anyway, I got up to speed on this one issue. So all right, 6 times through. If you make a mistake, you move on. You do not care. And the email was great. Thanks. Okay, good. So I know that a couple people sent me notes back and said it's working. So good. All right. And I don't think it's going to go into your spam boxes. If you didn't get it, check your spam boxes. I going with this service that's kind of ensures that you don't get into people's spam boxes if you do jump through 900 hoops, and I've jumped through all 900 hoops, and I think that I'm fine. All right, below 4, 2-beat count in, 6 times through. Okay. Here we go. Whoop. Hold on. I'm going to have to turn this up a little bit because I can't hear it over my harmonica. All right, let me turn this up. It's probably fine for you. The microphone's right there. All right, let's see if I can try it again. It's a little bit, it's not slow by any means. It's slower than it was, but it still kind of has a jaunty pace. I apologize. Let me see if I can get on track here a little bit better. Got it turned up quite a bit louder. Let's see if that's going to be enough. But let's hope for the best. 2-beat counting, and then we go. How'd you do? I made a zillion mistakes. The nice part about a backing track is it sort of covers you up a little bit, right? Like you're just like, oh, I made a mistake. Yeah, you move on. The nice part about it does a couple of things. One, it helps me train my ear. I'm listening a lot more than I'm counting because I know the machine. I'm basically playing to a metronome, right? And so the nice part about it is it's really helping me hear the count without actually doing the count in my head. And then I think it also is making me get away with a few bad sounds that I'm kind of covering up with the backing track. If you go on YouTube and you're listening to harmonica videos, a lot of these guys will have backing tracks and then they crank the reverb. They really crank the reverb up in their microphone. So it sounds like they're playing in a cathedral. It sounds ridiculous, but that's what they do. And all of those effects are designed to make it sound fuller and bigger and kind of cover up your, I don't know if it's really meant to cover up your mistakes, but it does. And so it's kind of interesting, right? And I think the real reason we do this is that sooner or later we get together to play, right? And that's when we've got experience doing that. Hey, let's play on top of spaghetti, and you grab your guitar and you grab your ukulele, I'll grab my harmonica, you do your stuff, I'll do my stuff, we'll sound great. And ultimately we want to have the International Harmonica Marching Band, which means we have to play while we're marching in time, you know, you got to be able to play together at that point. And it also tells you, it teaches you to forget about your mistakes, move on, right? You're coming in late, you're coming in early, you're playing the wrong notes, whatever, move on. And I just love that about music, is that in the beginning when you're first learning, you don't want to do that at all. You're trying to get everything perfect, and when you've been playing a while, you're like, I don't care about perfect, I care about cool. And that's kind of cool. So before we leave this piece, 6 times felt like a lot. At some point I lost track of how many times we were on. I was like, is this the 4th time or the 5th time? You're supposed to know, Gary, because you're playing the lead. I didn't know. So let's play it without the backing track now. I found the one note that I had to stay on top of in measure 10, I wrote it down before, that -4 to the 5 hit you pretty fast. Like, you're surprised how quickly you got to turn that one over. And so so there's that. So that's the ensemble experience and what the things you learn that way. Then when we play it as a soloist and we turn off all that nonsense and we just, you and your harmonica and your dog, my dog's over here, and the sunset, you play it with a little bit different approach, which is, let's get the feeling right. Okay, so same song, one time through, and then that's enough spaghetti. And I'll set the pace and you go with me. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, does that sound good? That sounds terrible, doesn't it? Let's try it at, let me try it at 4. I'm going to play from, let's play it one more time, but instead of playing that 10 at the end, let's play a 1 at the end. The 10 doesn't sound good. Let's try a 1 at the end. From the top, one time through, instead of 10 at the end, play a 1. 1, 2. I think I'm going to play a 1 from now on, changing the 10 to a 1. All right, that's a lot of spaghetti. Feeling good? Yes, is the answer. Remember Diatonic? When you go on the internet, they talk bad about playing melody on diatonic harmonica, and that's because you can't get any of the notes wrong. There's only so many notes. They're all the right note, and it is how we get started in harmonica. However, most people who play this instrument want to play blues, and that's all these chords that they bend down the professionals bend the whole thing, but mostly you can tell mostly the beginners, they end up bending all these notes down at the end as chords. A cool way to play, but it's not necessarily any harder than this, and it just requires one special technique. That's it. And so while I'm not against you learning to play that way, you should probably learn to play that way too. This is actually much more challenging than people give it credit for, because it's right or it's wrong. If you hit a bad note, people know. All right. All Through the Night. All Through the Night. I love this. I think I told you guys before. All Through the Night. I love this song. I don't know why. And it's got chromatic and diatonic on here. So I'm going to play the first time through on diatonic. And then we're going to stop and we're going to have a lovely conversation, and then we're going to play it twice through on chromatic. Okay, so the reason I like to play these on diatonic is inevitably the diatonics are really high pitched, and that's where I've talked about going and getting yourself a low diatonic, like a low F, as the one I use and I like. And that way you can play these kind of high-pitched songs without having this squealy number 10 coming out of this thing. All right, so without the backing track, let's just play it one time through with the diatonic for our diatonic wrap-up tonight. Okay, so blow 7. And if you already have pulled out your chromatic, that's fine. You can play that, and we'll play together. Okay. Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Okay, that's what you're after. Okay, 4-beat countdown, blow 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I had a perfect page 1, not a single note was bad. Page 2, wipe out, right? So let's play from page 2 at the top. Okay, I don't know why it went so poorly. Remember, if it is going poorly, it's almost always because you're not breathing from your belly. You're getting in a little bit of a panic, and you're using neck breathing or chest breathing. Keep your bellows moving in your belly, and I think you'll get better tones. I know you'll get better tones. So from page 2, measure 9, draw 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, better, but still not great. If I'm struggling with it, you should be struggling with it too. Perfectly fine. I've been playing harmonic a long time. Some days it's good, some days it's not so good. And what are you going to do? All right, next is with the chromatic and the backing track. Okay. should be warmed up. Been on it today, so we'll see what happens. That's the best part about working with sheet music is you get to play all this stuff and make sure it's right and fuss around with it. All right, chromatics, chromatic in C. You're going to blow 4, and we're going to put the backing track on, and it's 2 times through on the backing track, 3 times through. Sorry, 3 times through. I forgot there's 3 verses. So it will be a while. It takes a little while. It's not terribly long. Pay attention. The first 4 measures are exactly the same as the second 4 measures, or exactly the same as the last 4 measures. Okay, the only place that's different is that measure 9 through 12. That's the only place that's different. So other than that, you're good, and you don't have to push the button in. So that means it gives you a better chance to sort of get your sound chamber around the bottom of this and really make it sound as good as you can. Long notes almost always require a little wah-wah on them. Okay? All right. All through the nights, here comes the backing track. It's got a 4-beat count in on it. Ta-dum! How are you doing out there? Fascinating stuff that happens when you play like this, right? First 2 pages, or first page, doing okay on. Second page, the higher notes, got them right 2 of the 3 times, 1 at a time, it just didn't go well. Fascinating. Where I struggled was measure 13. I finally got it right the last time through, right? And it's kind of interesting when you're a musician and you're playing with an ensemble. Like, you can nail stuff, and then for whatever random reason you just can't play it at all, and then you nail stuff again, right? And I think part of that is you get in your own head and you're starting to think about lunch, or oh, I played that really well, I'm really happy with myself, quack, right? And then so I think it's definitely also one of those mental exercises of staying with it. You know, I'm classic for goofing up the next to the last measure on every song I ever play. I could almost just put a circle around it. This is where you're going to mess up, and in this case it was 13, but usually it would be 14 for me. So Melissa's into it. She says, yeah. And Vic is giving. Is that a scary face or a happy face? I think that's a happy. I'm going to conclude it's a happy face. Nice little tune too, right? I still think the MP3 is a little on the fast side, so don't feel like you have to play it that fast, right? When you're playing it by yourself, I think learning it from the MP3, that teaches you where the notes are and how it goes. But then when you play it on your own, you can fuss around with that. You do not need to play everything two tempo. That's a huge mistake. That's a huge misunderstanding that your elementary school piano teacher gave to you, that we carry around with us throughout life. That the tempo is the tempo. You have to stick to it. Yes and no. And when you're a soloist, the answer is absolutely not. When you're in elementary school, the answer is absolutely yes. When you're playing in an ensemble, you have to, because everybody's got to be on the same tempo. So there are yeses, and that's a much more nuanced discussion about setting tempo than quarter note equals 80, right? All right, now we got to get through this song. I hate that fact that I have to feel bad about playing this song, but America the Beautiful, Chromatic, February 3rd. I just posted it today. I don't think I'll ever mess with it again. It's good enough. It's 2 times through, right? Yeah, it's 2 times through. And America is beautiful when it's not being horrible. And so I think let's know that there are moments, right, that America is the beautiful. I don't think I have a ton to say about this. I messed around with the sound fonts. I don't know how many times. I was putting in bagpipes and orchestra and organs and something called a glass harmonica, and putting in all these sound fonts. Nothing was working very well. What I've come up with here is okay, but I'm going to work on it a little bit more. So the MP3 that's on there is fine, but it's not great, and so I'm going to see if I can get it better. 3-beat count in on the Chromatic. Here's where you're going to mess up. Measure 7, right? It's gonna come and it's gonna just beat you up. There's the only time you have to push that button. And every time I played this the last couple of days, I'd get there and be like, oh crud, and then push the button late, right? So here's how I tell people to do it. Okay, you got your iPad, right? Or if you don't have your iPad, you have a yellow highlighter. Click yellow highlighter. Go down and just put a little bit of a, hey, watch out for this. There's a button push, and just put a little highlighter right on it. That way your eyes come by and you're like, oh yeah, and that way you're on time. And then the last note from C to shining C. Now usually I put on a little dun 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 dun, but not with that one, right? From C to shining C. And you're supposed to hold it for 8 beats. Usually what I talk about with harmonica is you don't want to really hold it for 8 beats. You want to hold it for maybe 6 and then fade out kind of thing, right? And so fading out on harmonica is actually pretty easy. Now let me find a single note. Right? Just blow less hard until it just kind of vanishes. I don't think I have anything else to say about this piece. All right? So, here we go. This is our grand finale. Can you believe it? Half an hour. Most times we're going to be 45 minutes, guys. I want these to be half hour, but it's not enough. So, let me close out that sound file. Let's open up America the Beautiful. And, whoa. It's got a loud 3-beat count-in thing. On future pieces of sheet music, the ones that I think are going to be kind of nice to play more modern pieces, I'm going to have a little intro for you, and it'll be, you absolutely will be able to make yourself sound like a legit player. You all are legit players. You're not here on accident. And then, shut up, Gary, and just play the song. All right, here we go. Blow 3, 3-beat count in. I'll see you in 2 repeats. Nice, right? Let's play it one more time, just slow. Okay, so just without all that nonsense, let's play it one time on our own, the way. Just channel your inner Purple Mountain, and we'll do it that way. Okay, a little bit slower, a little bit more feeling, a little bit more amber waves of gray. 1, 2, 3. Good. That's our patriotic job. We probably won't play another patriotic song till July, right? A few years back, I did "O Canada" on ukulele, and so I'm going to be tossing that into our patriotic song so we can celebrate our neighbors to the north. And we have several tunes from Mexico that I will be putting on here, which are super fun, super fun. So, so we will have all of North America, right? I got to look at see if there's any songs from Greenland. Apparently, we're trying to buy Greenland or invade it or something. I don't know what's going on. I watch so little of the news. I just can't stand it. So that's that. All right, kids. Thanks for being here. And if you were watching the replay, thanks for doing that. And send me notes, guys. Let me know what songs that you would love to do. Remember, with this style of playing, you want nice, cool melodies, right? And so anything that if it's a modern song, they have a tendency to be like da 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 da, and those are not great harmonica songs. Any of these things that actually have motion in the way the sheet music works, it's good. Vic says she needs to breathe now. I don't mention it often enough. This is very, very good for you. And we did have a few years back, one of our players just started. She's playing harmonica, noticed something weird was going on, and she went and had her checked and had a heart problem. So we don't know that harmonica saved her life, but it certainly it's sent a message that maybe you should go get checked out. And it does make your breathing stronger, makes all of that, makes like now that I have been playing it, I can actually talk again, which is nice. And so yeah, so so keep at it, make it it's for real, it's legit, and nobody's playing harmonica right now except you guys, and so you're the ambassadors. You got to go get out there and let people know this is a real legit instrument, not just for old guys anymore like me, but for the whole world. So I have a friend who's a respiratory therapist, and she uses harmonica with her patients. Yeah, it's a big deal. Like, it's a big deal. I know my mother had significant respiratory issues toward the end of her life, and they gave her you've seen them, it's like a little contraption with a blue ball, and you're supposed to see how high up you can blow the blue ball and keep the blue ball up. It is demoralizingly unpleasant to play, and all they got to do, same activity, is switch to this, right? Give them a diatonic harmonica, an ode to joy, and they're breathing in and breathing out with the same level of purpose and with breath control. It does the same exact job, and it's way more fun. So yeah, I've read a lot about the respiratory therapists, and I'm going to try to find a way to get in with them. I want them to be using our sheet music and not that blue ball. That's what I want them to use. So all right, I will talk to you guys next week. Harmonica on Monday nights is my new favorite thing. So have a great evening. Peace.